We welcome you to another live edition of The Sports Box, your go-to sports podcast featuring great content, conversation, and your occasional disagreement. Stick around to interact and ask questions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Week 8 pregame on the Sports Box. Brian Attar, Drew Trammell, Anthony Emilio, Tony Quigley taking you around the NFL. We'll talk about Thursday night. A couple of teams that the season might be slipping away. We'll see if they're able to turn things around. And we'll get into the games today. Gentlemen, any thoughts before we dive in to the action for this week?
I can't wait for 4:30. I know that.
I just want Jaden Daniels to play in that matchup. It should be a fun matchup.
I think he is. It looks like he is.
They're going to try him out pregame warm-up, so we'll see.
The line went from 3 to 1 this morning.
Down. These lines were from yesterday, so they're outdated.
It started at -3, and right now, as of now, it's 1.
Well, we'll get it started again. Powered by the Sports Box Network. Like, follow, and share. We appreciate all your support. But let's get it going. So Thursday night, the Los Angeles Rams with a 30-20 home win against the Minnesota Vikings. Stafford looked like old Stafford again. 25 of 34, 279, and 4 scores with a pick. Puka Nacua made his triumphant return to the gridiron, 7 for 106, despite people saying he was only going to be limited snaps. Not so much, right? Kyron Williams, 23 of 97, caught a touchdown. Darnold plays well, 2 touchdowns, 240. Jefferson was Jefferson. But the story out of this one is the missed face mask at the end, which could have played a role. People say, hey, a lot of money was on Minnesota. And then you see that. They don't do a very good job of avoiding conspiracy theories. But, Tony, the Vikings are the luster's a little bit off the Vikings. The Rams seem to be turning things around. What's your thoughts here?
I mean, it's just amazing when the boys are back, right? You got Kupp back, which I don't think you mentioned. He scored a touchdown.
Yep.
And Puka was surprisingly played a lot more snaps than anybody really expected. And Stafford looks like Stafford. I mean, it's not surprising that the Rams won this game, considering that everybody was back and looking healthy. It was a little bit more surprising, though, that just another face mask was missed, right? I mean, we've seen this for some reason. Face masks have been missed multiple times throughout the season, and it seems like it's just. I mean, they call every little slightest thing, but smack it ahead of the quarterback, this kind of stuff, and then blatant face masks are missed. Some PI missed, that kind of stuff. It's good to see the Rams back. I bet on the Rams to win the West this year. My boys could help me out tonight to kind of make that preseason wish list come true. So, but yeah, Puka looked good, Kupp looked good, and then you see guys like DeMarcus Robinson that are kind of like fitting right in there. Tutu Atwell. I mean, now they got their weapons, and like Kyron Williams has just been solid. Hockenson needs to be back for that Vikings offense. They kind of have to get it more now. I think that'll help Jefferson out a lot and make some plays. He had a decent game, but then again, the end zone. And I think that the 49ers better be on notice because it looks like the Rams are for real.
Yeah, Tone, I agree, man. I mean, when the boys are back, the Rams are clicking. I mean, that's a really good triple threat with Williams, Puka, and Kupp. So, I mean, I had the Rams winning that division this year. I think they could go on a run. I think it improves everybody on the team. But on the other side, Minnesota, 5-0. They had this, incredible defense going. And I think that's really been a big part of Minnesota's last 2 losses is their defense. They're known for blitzing a lot. Detroit toasted them the week before, and Stafford did the same. So as far as Minnesota, that's very concerning. As you know, the division's tough. A lot of good receivers, good players in that division. So I think coming out of that, I think Minnesota's defense is going to be an issue going on for them.
It's a few things for me, and the biggest thing that comes from this game Thursday night is the fact that Vikings lost their left tackle for the season. That's going to be a huge miss for them with Darisaw. Sean McVay is the best head coach in the NFL by a landslide. Yeah, Andy Reid is there, but Sean McVay, for what he's able to do with the pieces he has around him, and it's that old saying, making crap into glass. And so he's doing that with the team that he has. Gerard Verse, I think we overlooked him a little bit. He's been killing it defensively. A lot of pressure last night against Sam Darnold. First 2 drives of the Vikings were touchdowns. The rest were nothing besides 2 field goals, I believe. So it's what a second half adjustments by Sean McVay in the Rams. It makes things a lot easier. Like Tone said about Cooper Kupp and Puka coming back, it pays dividends. It also helps, I think, I don't know if it's an argument anymore, but it might be. Kyron Williams, I think, is the best player on that offensive side outside of Stafford. To be able to get those 2 guys back, Brian. Let me break it down. I think you know what in the box means. Now you're not going to have 8 and 9 in the box anymore. You're going to have to go away from the standard defense that you could play against the Rams these past 3 to 4 weeks, where they didn't have Cooper and Puka. Now that you have those 2 dudes, your safety has to come down slot. You're going away from the box set, and you're able to win the A, B, and C gaps all day long. And Kyron's a very underrated runner with his vision and everything that he's able to do. He's a dual threat running back, as we all know, and that offense is going to flow with a head coach like Sean McVay. So it's a good thing to see. Quig, I'm with you. I picked the Rams to win the NFC West, and right now that pick didn't look good 3 weeks ago. Now that pick looks really good. Cooper Kupp should be off the trade block now, and the Rams. That's a scary team. If they can stay healthy, that team is scary.
Joe D'Angelo, I mean, Minnesota, Seattle, Detroit, all weak defenses, right? Can anybody tell me a strong defense? I mean, I can't look around the NFL and say, there used to be matchups where you're like, yo, we're not playing this guy against this guy. It doesn't matter anymore.
The Steelers.
Okay, but they still have been beat up on. I mean, you know, I think it's more, scheme. I mean, they're solid, but Dak exposed them a little bit, when you want to go out there and just throw all over them. So, I mean, there's not a defense out there. I mean, 85 Bears, 90, 86 Giants, them kind of defenses aren't really out there anymore.
What do you make of Jordan Addison on social media posting himself with a free 3? What are we reading anything into that?
I didn't even see that, to be honest.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, he posted. I think it was Instagram. I saw it. I think it was Instagram, but he posted a picture of himself. No, in football, but free. Well, his number's 3. So
Oh, free 3. I thought you said 3-3.
No, free 3. Like, let him go.
I mean, last year he had 10 touchdowns. This year he has 1. So I mean, and you watch that game, Jefferson's he gets the first look, and he's generally open all the time. He gets open all the time. So your first look is there. So I don't get these guys. I mean, where's he gonna go? What's he gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, he's good because Justin Jefferson's there. He's got
no.
He's got to take advantage of
it. Okay, so he's a receiver, right? Receivers, they always think they're open. They always want the ball, and they should be. They should have that. They should have that mindset. Okay. Jordan Addison, who's also a stud from USC, who was a first-round draft pick, I believe. So, I mean, it's not like he's just came out the woodwork and is like some garbage can receiver that they were, now all of a sudden is talking junk. He has a precedent to see that. But on the other hand, too, Sam Darnold's job is to feed Jetta, is to win games, and he ain't gonna worry about it. So it's kind of just par for the course with receivers, to be honest with you. I mean, especially any that had any kind of sort of success, you have to have that. Receivers and cornerbacks have to have that mindset where no one's better than them, because you're always out on an island, you're always playing, and you always have to think you're open to make the play. I'm not mad at him for trying to say to free him, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can't argue with Jefferson.
Sure.
But then again, you start losing a couple games, and now people have worries. Well, if you go out there,
Minnesota was 5-0. They are now 5-2, which is tied for the most losses in the NFC North. Right? Like it's kind of crazy the way that
happened right now.
Yeah, I mean the Bears are in last at 4-2.
It's also a lack of a running game. The Aaron Jones was disappeared Thursday night. There's no balanced attack in Minnesota right now in these last 2 weeks. So you have to think about that as we move forward from Minnesota. That's also Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold coming off from a high that is unusual?
T. Higgins inactive official. Sorry.
I mean,
Inactive.
Yeah.
You talked about it briefly, and a good little. I have 6 teams I want to talk about today as far as it being too little, too late. So the Rams are back healthy again offensively. They are sitting at 3-4, which puts them 1 behind the 4-3 Seahawks, but tied for last and second at the same exact time. Is it too late for them? I don't know that it is. I think that they're very. Listen, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to stand by my pick and see where that goes. But, they've gotten through the injury concerns. They're clearly not going to trade Cooper Kupp now. I don't see any reason why they can't win the division.
No, there isn't. We just all talked about it. I mean, offensively, they're tops in the league, and they can hang. They're a tough out.
Shout out for Drew with the Sportsbox Tic Tac account taking off on these bullshit trade rumors, which is always nice. Nothing gets the crowd going by a little excitement of make believe trade rumors.
Stafford to Minnesota, I thought was kind of like wild.
Hey, whatever. So
that was a legit rumor. That wasn't. That was out there.
I don't think it's too late at all. The NFC West is wide open, like Aaron said. I think this year in football, the parity is just so huge, it's crazy. I really don't see a team that's really like the Chiefs remind me. I know the Chiefs are 6-0. They remind me a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers when they were 11-0 that one year. And then they just started falling from grace because they weren't that good. It was just a lot of what Brian said last year, the schedule. So I really think the Chiefs are in a moment where we could see them have a downfall sooner than later. I don't think it's going to happen today, but sooner or later, I think you might have some reality. I think the only team I'm really like perpetuating to be this top dog is the Ravens. I really don't see really anything else. Maybe the Lions, but Lions have a lot of injuries. So, but as far as the Rams, Brian, I think they can win the NFC West. I also think they can win a playoff game.
Real quick on the Chiefs there, Drew. You talk about injuries could knock off the Ravens, and obviously if Lamar gets hurt, they're toast because their whole playbook.
Oh, 1,000%. Different. Yes, 1,000%.
The thing that I'm a firm believer in the Chiefs is because they're going to get healthy. They added a piece to the puzzle. Schuster's out. Rishi Rice is out. Hollywood Brown's going to be coming back. Pacheco's been coming back. Oh, no. The Brown's out for the year, right?
I think so.
Brown's out for the year. Schuster come back.
He was out for the year.
Pacheco?
I thought he was out for the year. That's why
he was out for the year.
No, he's not out for the year. No, he's not out for the year. They're going to get healthy. They're getting Kareem Hunt came in there, gave him a boost. They're weathering the storm right now. I think they're in the storm and they're weathering it. And you got Patty Mahomes. I'm never saying that they're anything out of it. So, no matter what happens with the Chiefs, I think that they're what they need to be. Detroit losing Hutchinson, guy says they're bad defense. All of a sudden, you lose the Hutchinson, they're bad defense. We'll see about that.
Staying in the NFC West. So I have a question for you. This was brought up in Outside the Box, where someone said, you are so against running backs, and I am. I'm freely admit that they don't matter. But they're like, wouldn't the Niners be better than they were if they had Christian McCaffrey? And I said, Jordan Mason's second in the NFL in rushing yards behind only Derrick Henry. So, I think it's really kind of hard to say that that's the reason they're 3-4 and not, 5-2 or some other Niners type record. So my question for you here is for the Niners, how much do they genuinely miss Christian McCaffrey to the point where this would be a whole different a different record, if not for him? And B, where are they as far as it being, can they come back too little too late? Because now he has some injuries on the outside.
Listen, I think they miss CMC a lot. Listen, he's a factor on offense, on the receiving end, the running end. He makes everybody around him better. The defense changes. It does make a difference. I just think, to be honest, the struggle with that team is the quarterback. He's he hasn't been playing well. He's the offense does not look well. So to me, it's the quarterback. He's just not living. He's coming back down to earth. And when you need a quarterback to pick other guys up, he's not doing it. So to me, it's the quarterback.
First of all, the McCaffrey and Mason comparison, you're talking about a 10-yard gain to a 15 to 30-yard touchdown run is the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like CMC is a different animal. He opens up that playbook completely for him, makes Brock Purdy's job a lot easier. And now again, you see injuries. Ayuk done, piling up. Jennings, I don't even know if he's playing back yet or not. Debo's been banged up. Kittle has kind of been there, but you know what? Now you're Brock Purdy has changed from being a guy who is a game manager and just don't make the mistakes, the guy who's been forced out there to actually play and try to be the reason why they win instead of just the reason why they're not losing. And it's a different role for him, and it's not a role that anybody really expected him to succeed in. So you're going to need a guy like McCaffrey to come back, and he'll be back very soon. And then you're going to see the dynamics of that offense pick up a little bit. They still have some injuries they got to worry about. So they're going to have to, McCaffrey is going to have to be old McCaffrey very quick for them to right the ship, because if they're depending on Brock Purdy to win games, it's not going to happen. He's not going to go out there and win the football game for you. He's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Lamar Jackson.
And this is huge year for Purdy. I mean, the Niners have to make a decision on it, how much they're going to pay him or pay him at all. So, I mean, his performance is really being judged right now and this year, because the Niners are going to have to make a decision. And, I mean, are you willing to pay that guy that much money to, quote unquote, manage a game or not be able to pick up guys, pick the team up when needed? It's going to be interesting to see what the Niners are going to do.
It's a lot of things. I think I'm not solely going to blame Purdy, because it's a lot of interchanging in the lineups. I don't think Purdy's that dog that we've all been saying consistently on this show, is that he's a dude that can come in and be an Alex Smith type and I think that's what his game is comparable to, Alex Smith. And so did Alex Smith get paid? Yeah, he got paid. And he didn't really result to anything in Washington in the year and a half, but in Kansas City, he was able to blossom because I think of everything around him, especially arguably the greatest play caller of all time in Andy Reid. So, I mean, it makes things a lot easier in life. Is Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid or Andy Reid-esque? I don't know, but it's just a lot of injuries this year that San Francisco has faced. So it's hard to really give him a determination of, hey, bro, like, are you this or this, or you're that, you're that? We don't know, because it's been crazy. Like Quig just said, not only can CNC give you a 30-yard touchdown, he makes life just easier being able to find the soft coverages and defenses and be able to be the outlet receiver that he could throw the ball to get 5 to 6 yards or a catch. That changes your whole play calling when you could do that. Jordan Mason isn't that. And that's why I laugh when people say it's a plug and play for San Francisco at running back. No, it's not. CMC is the standard, and no one can reach that standard on that San Francisco team currently in the running back. So it's hard to say, but Brian, I'm not paying Brock top money. I wouldn't do it.
No.
So what range are you going to give him?
All right. Well, here's the thing. I think it's very simple, right? With all the injuries and everything the 49ers are having, if you're their brass there, you got to look at them and say, when we were all together and working well, we went to the Super Bowl. Things fell apart around them. So when we're all back whole again, he's the guy that can kind of take you there, but you kind of have a good thing. Now, is he going to have a realistic view of himself? That's what you would kind of hope. So you get a contract that doesn't kill your franchise by paying his sub, quarterback who's not somebody who's going to win games for you a ton of money. Worst case scenario, franchise him, bite the bullet, see if it's a 1-year fluke or not.
These Super Bowl hangovers are real. Like, they're exhausting. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. I mean, and they've come up short both times. I mean, the Niners are running out of gas, in my opinion. I mean, it's a matter of time. So it's this year or never to me. And I don't think it's this year because you can see it.
It feels like
not
their
a whole
their
team,
best
though.
shots passed them by.
Yeah, I mean it's exhausting. Think about it. It's their long years, their full seasons, and they're coming up short, and it catches up to you. And this is what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of paying top of the market money to your quarterback, the Cowboys come into the day at 3-3. They are a win behind the 4-2 Eagles and 2 wins behind the 5-2 Commanders, who I'm not going to pat myself on the back just yet, but I thought they could win the division. They very well might. Tony, I'm going to let you start with this one, given the logo on your shirt there. Where are you with this? Like, is this, it's not for the Giants. They're in last. They haven't won a home game, which is not like them at all, especially after last year. Is it too little, too late for them?
No. Why would it be too little, too late? It's a long season. The guys that are in front of them, like you said, your Commanders. Now, Daniels is supposed to play today. If not, for whatever reason, he can't go or injury, they don't play the Carolina Panthers every week, right? I mean, so it's going to be a little bit different against the Bears, if they don't have Daniels, because he's definitely a difference maker. Eagles, okay, not really. They had one good win, and that was against the Giants in New York. That wasn't really anything special. So I think there's still question marks on teams ahead of them. You're not really, you know what you are as the Dallas Cowboys at this point. You're a banged up defense, and you're a team that wants to throw the ball 60 times a game, and that's it. And the way the game breaks early is going to determine what your success is. I don't really feel that there's not a team out there that they can't really beat. I like them to beat the San Francisco 49ers tonight. Just simply the fact because they're just going to go out there and sling the ball. They can't, and it just seems like a team like Pittsburgh. When they beat Pittsburgh just power run at the Cowboys and you'll have success at them. But it doesn't seem like that's what everybody wants to do. So depending on the matchup, the Cowboys are going to look really bad. Detroit, Baltimore should beat them up. I don't know if the 49ers tonight are going to actually just sit there and power run because of the scheme, because of the size of the Cowboys linebackers, that kind of stuff. But the way the Cowboys are constructed is they're just going to throw the ball, and you got to feed CeeDee Lamb more and more and more, and get the offense going that way. Ferguson has to step up. Too late for him to win the NFC East. Not even close. You're only 6 games in. You're 500, and no one else is really much better than you. So very, very easy to do.
The narrative, though, like everything is always, this is what Derrick Henry's doing. You could have had Derrick Henry. Here's what Derrick Henry's doing. I maintain the fact that Derrick Henry would not be having this success in Dallas.
No, I said it myself. Bringing Derrick Henry into Dallas would be career suicide for Derrick Henry. Okay, because that offensive line doesn't block. That offensive coordinator, Mike McCarthy, go look at the history books. He has the worst run to pass ratio that people can imagine. He wants to throw the ball all the time. He ran Kellen Moore out of Dallas because he wanted to run the ball. So, I mean, what's Derrick Henry going to do behind a bad offensive line? He'd get tackled in the backfield time and time after again, and he doesn't help the playbook. So great job by Jerry not wasting money on him because he wouldn't have been effective. Because he would right now instead of and great job by Derrick Henry's camp keeping him out of there, because now you're in Baltimore, it's a perfect fit. So styles makes fights sometimes, and the style of the Ravens is perfectly built for Derrick Henry. The style for the Cowboys is the worst thing imaginable. I mean, I'm not going to buy a Lamborghini to go plow fields, and that's pretty much what you'd be trying to do. So it's a lazy narrative that said throw Derrick Henry on the Cowboys he'd have some 3,000-yard rusher and all this other nonsense because it's lazy. It's just not reality.
I mean, to hit on what Tony said, I mean, in the division they have a shot. I mean, the Eagles have not been impressive, like he said. I mean, you beat the Browns, you beat the Giants, and your offense looked putrid still with all the weapons that they have. So. And then you got the Commanders. And I think they're going to come down to earth. So, I mean, I think this division is going to come down to the last couple of weeks, the interdivision games. And to give them a shot. But to be honest, I mean, I can't see them really doing any damage at all with just what they have to do. You have to establish some kind of run. You can't throw it all on Dak, and I think it's just hopeless if they happen to make it. To be honest with you.
But you can't try to establish the run. It's just a waste of time.
I know.
It's just a waste of time.
You can't have any kind of success. You can't throw that all on your quarterback like that. You just can't.
But you know what this is going to lead to, right? In my opinion, they're going to overcorrect to this and draft a running back in the first round next year.
Yeah, they're going to go get the guy from Boise.
Yeah. Like that just feels like such a Cowboys thing. Tony, am I wrong?
Yeah. And Ashton Gentry, I mean, come on now. Crush me this week.
Yeah, he goes under.
Way under. His over-under is 180. He doesn't even sniff it.
It's bound to happen.
I mean, what more can you say? I didn't pick them to make the playoffs because of what you guys all said. I just don't like the construction of the team. I didn't like the offensive line. I didn't like the D line. Quasi has been a big joke. Mozzie has been a big joke. Tackles. Yeah,
it's not on pressures. Him though. I see Drew.
I know it's not on.
It's not on him though.
Zero pressures, Quig. Zero pressure rate in all pass opportunities that he's been in.
He's not supposed to be in there for pass. He's not. Listen. He was drafted. I'm a Michigan fan. I watched Mozzie Smith from fucking ever to ever. Right. I watched him now. You do not draft him to get to the quarterback. You draft him to stop the run. And the problem is that the tomato cans that are on the defensive line with him and the small ass linebackers that you have playing for Parsons and everybody else, they're double teaming Mozzie, getting him out the way, and it's free reign. So, like, I wanted them to draft the kid who's the monster defensive tackle this year. I forget his name. Just because of that fact. Give me who is it?
Murphy.
No, not Murphy. It was later. It was a later pick. I forget. He's a monster out of Baylor. I think it was Baylor. Oh no, the kid from Texas. The kid who used to play next to Murphy.
Yeah. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't remember. Listen, he's just a run stopper. That's all I need. Just give me somebody big. Give me the Dontarius Poe. Give me somebody in there that's going to.
Was it Tavondre Sweat?
Correct, and he's a little head case, and that's why he fell and everything like that. But he's absolutely a monster. So give me somebody in there that's a big body. I can't blame Mazzy for not getting to the quarter because that's not what he's ever done.
Agree. Yeah. Sweat went to the Titans, right?
I just I get that. It's a staggering stat. Over than that, but I agree with everything else that you guys said. And Brian, I might be leaning towards your thought process. I think I said it a couple weeks ago, or I think it was you and me. I keep beating a dead horse, but it's like if you're going to come out and say this team is all in and we're ready to roll this year and this and that, no changes, and you don't buy into it's just weird. I just have issues with Jerry Jones. Just like I'm pretty sure you two that you guys have had issues with from years. So it's like, if we're not really going to be moving forward and fixing and helping Dak and helping these other players that we have that are great players, and we're not going to build around these guys, and we're just going to play the gambling media type of thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to negotiate with myself to the end and with Lamb and with Dak, and I'm just like, dude, like I'm sick and tired of it. To be honest with you, I'm not even a Cowboys fan. It's just like I feel for you guys because it's like the talent's there, but the coaching isn't there. And then you have Jones there. And then it's like, I don't know, man. Dak's not really having that great of a year. But like Floyd said, it's a lot of issues with Mike McCarthy. So it's a lot of things that are just not working. It's not vibing like it was last year. So, I don't know, man.
Well, last year was their shot.
Yeah, nobody was happy with the Mike McCarthy hiring, first of all. It was like, okay, he's not Jason Garrett. Thank you. That's pretty much it. Nobody was hired with McCarthy hiring. Talent-wise, when you look across the board at how they're trying to dress, I think one of the things that it's not happening is, first of all, the injuries. Deron Bland out. Diggs not making the plays that he made a couple years ago. Oversheen has been phenomenal, but Oversheen coming back. So I think what Jones was looking at on the defense side of the ball is when Bland finally comes back, and when you have Diggs and you have Oversheen back, that's going to automatically ingest the defense. And then guess what happens? Other people get hurt. They addressed the offensive line in the first round, this year. So I don't know what else we could do with that to address it. Receiving wise, Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, Cooks looked good, but now all of a sudden Cooks was awful, and he's had a tough year. Tolbert, other guys need to step up. So I don't know how much you want to invest in certain spots. You invest a first rounder in an offensive line. It's just, I think what happened is some of the injuries and stuff like that.
Zach Martin's play has decreased.
He got older
this year. So I mean,
he was the lowest rated. He was the lowest rated offensive lineman last week, right?
Yep.
Well, and so it's like you're looking at stuff like if you got your good guys, they got to play good, and when they don't, you're screwed. And when your good guys are hurt, you're screwed. So,
See, you got to have some kind of decent running game for the Cowboys. Says Dallas window closed years ago. I think Dallas had a window last year and they blew it. As far as
you're right. You had the
Listen, you had window. Dez dropped it or Dez caught it, whatever side you're on with that. Which the NFL came out and said he actually did catch it. The window's still there. No one in the NFC is killing anybody, right? 49ers are down. Who's up there? And I mean, we just watched Minnesota, who's top of the heap, lose. Nobody's window right now is closed. So I mean, it's very short sighted. It's you can't discount a 3-3 team, which has a lot of issues, and I don't expect them to get to the Super Bowl. But to say anybody's window is closed now is a little crazy. Except Carolina Panthers.
Can you discount a 2-4 team that's getting their quarterback back today? Is it too little, too late for them?
Well, I mean.
They gotta win their division games. I mean, that's what they got to do. They have to win the division games. You can't let Buffalo run away with this. The Jets, you still really don't know about the Jets. So I think they're still in it. I would have to look at their schedule, see what's coming up, but I know for a fact they have to win these division games.
Yeah, you're not. No one's out of it right now. If you have your team back and healthy, I mean. Which Fallon just mentioned about Detroit being a good team. Yeah, Detroit's a good offense right now, really good offense. Defensively, they got some issues right now, especially losing Aiden Hutchinson, because Joe D'Angelo just said their defense is awful. So I mean, which is it? So offense, I would say, like there's no perfect team out there. There's no team out there that's running through people. Bucks injuries, but you still got Baker Mayfield. Baker played by like Baker a couple times this year already. I mean, and injuries and timing. I think. At the end of the day, when we're going through the NFL this season, it's going to be who's healthy and in a spot to kind of contend weeks 14, 15, 16, 17, and that's the team that's going to be healthy and on a roll. And that's the team that's going to make it to a playoff push.
Yeah. For Miami Dolphins, for me, it's just too late. I don't think they're good with Tua. When Tua was playing those 3 weeks, he wasn't playing good ball. So I think he had like 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. So I mean, he wasn't playing good ball before he got hurt. I've always been consistent saying I think Tua is a product of a good offense around him. He's not that dog, and I think there's just too many issues in Miami with that defense. That defense is not good.
But Drew, I agree with you, Drew. I agree with you. Drew, that Tua is like a Brock Purdy where he's not going to take the team to another level. But you can't discount what Tua does to this offense because this offense has been god awful.
Horrible. Yeah, look what he.
So you have to give Tua some credit.
They were good before he was hurt. He had a 3-game slate where he was not playing good. So I'm just
you can say that about the entire NFL
and how he plays.
The entire NFL didn't play good first 3 weeks of the season. Joe Burrow, I mean, come on now, it was a preseason start of the season for most. But Tua is, no matter how bad Tua was in the beginning of the year, he wasn't as bad as the product that the Miami has put out with him.
Well, no, obviously not. But I still think that this roster isn't good. Regardless, you put a quarterback at Tua. we've seen how Tua could play. Tua is not a road warrior. He cannot win in cold games, regards to the fact that he is not. And the defense is absolutely atrocious. They're not a good defense. Vic Fangio, he's not there anymore. He didn't leave any stamp behind. This team isn't good defensively. And you're in the NFC East where, me and Ant thought that the Jets were going to be better than what they are. They're obviously not. They're an inconsistent mess. But the Buffalo Bills have actually played really good football. They just haven't beat a contender yet, which we'll find out today if they can beat a team above 500 against Seattle. But other than that, the AFC in totality right now, as you head into Week 8, I agree with you. There's still a chance for them to come back. But if I had to pick, Miami's not even on my radar until I see consistent play from both sides of the ball. I just don't see it. That's just me speaking that. It's just too many antics, too much stuff going on around in Miami. And I don't feel confident at all, even with Tua back. Remember, I know we were all one play away in the NFL from your career being done. But that dude, I'm talking, if it's just one slip and the side of the head, and speaking from a guy for myself who's had 6 concussions playing football, if one shot to head where you just trip or you fall and you basically shit on a guardian cap, which is supposed to help you a little bit more, and you don't even want to use that because you think you're tough shit, good luck, dude. Because if you get hit one time from his situation, what is the NFL going to do? You're going to let him play again? No. You want a lawsuit like that again? No. So what are you going to do? What's going to happen? Your career is hanging literally by this much. And I can't roll with it. I can't trust it. I don't get it, dude. It's just not me. It's not who I want to pick and who I want to invest in. So that's just my 2 thoughts. I get what you're saying, though, Quick. I understand what you're saying.
My point is simple. Miami, no one's saying Miami is Super Bowl bound, but they have a chance in the AFC East to kind of crawl up, depending on, if they survive injuries. And the offense is going to look a lot better than it has been. So now it's going to give them a chance. That's simply my basis.
Well, how about the team right behind them?
Still a shot.
You could say the same thing.
Breece Hall's getting the ball now. Rodgers, see what happens with Devontae Adams. Garrett Wilson look better. There's still a shot. I mean, it's going to.
I trust them more.
Things that are making. What's that?
I trust them more than I do.
Yeah, I think they're a better overall team. I mean, and Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tua.
You want to hear a stat? Aaron Rodgers enters today's game with 10 touchdown passes. No Jets quarterback has had 10 touchdown passes in a year since 2019. In a year.
Who was their quarterback in 2019? Was it Gino?
Good question. I'm going to go look now.
Darnold? Sam Darnold?
Maybe, yeah.
Sam Darnold. You're right. It was Sam Darnold. Gino was gone by then.
I'm not even positive on that. I know.
I'm going to go look. They were 7-9 that year, and their quarterback was Sam Darnold. He had 19 touchdowns, 3,000 yards.
Yeah.
And he missed time because Luke Falk and Trevor Siemian played that year.
Listen, I think that the Jets have a chance. They needed time to get it together. I mean, Devontae Adams is going to really help that team. I mean, and you've seen Garrett Wilson is looking like Garrett Wilson the last 2 weeks, and especially more last week than anything.
Yeah.
Hall offensively. Yeah. I mean, they're. I think they'll be okay. I mean, I think they're a bigger threat than Miami is. So. Yeah. I think if they get healthy and they can get stuff together, like I said, this is a team that I think can make some noise if they're in it in week 14 and can stay healthy and make a run. Because Rodgers, and I don't know how. Here's the dumbest thing about Rodgers is how does he have so much success throwing a Hail Mary? It's completely the luckiest thing. All you do is shut your eyes and heave the ball. It's not like it requires any kind of skill, but
I think that's it with the Jets. To be honest, I think Rodgers just flat out has to play better. I don't think he's playing that. He hasn't played that well. I know he's getting his weapons back. I know he's got his guy now. We'll see. But, I mean, he just hasn't been playing well. And I think if he gets it going, I think that's when the Jets get going.
The difference between Rodgers not playing well and some of these other guys who aren't as successful as him overall and Hall of Fame or anything like that is Rodgers can play well, and he's coming off an injury, and people have to kind of get that in. You got to play through the kinks, play through the rust out. It's not like he played in New York last year and now he's coming back and sucking. This is kind of like year one with New York. So I think all Rodgers has to do is get on the same page. And we talked about a couple of weeks ago is like the routes that his receivers were running. He was just off sync, out of sync with all these guys, and it just wasn't happening. And I think that they have plenty of time to get it together.
No Alan Lazard today, so Mike Williams is going to be back in the 3 receiver sets. Reddick is playing his first game today, so I'm interested to see how he's going to do today after signing his deal. So that's a little upgrade for the defense because they have no Jermaine Johnson. Overall, Brian, it's a lot of things that I thought the Jets would be a lot better at. Me and myself included, I even thought that Breece Hall was going to have that monster year, but they forgot about him for 2 games, and then all of a sudden now they're back on that trend with him. The defense, I feel like, could be a lot. They're playing good. I can see them playing great now that Reddick. They have a pass rusher to accompany their defense a lot more. But yeah, it's a 40-year-old quarterback who's coming off a torn Achilles. We've never seen anything like this at his age, where a guy came back after suffering that big of an injury at his age, and he's knocking off the rust. I didn't expect big things from him this year, but I did expect the Jets to at least make the wild card. So I think it's not too late for this team because they have the ingredients to be good. And so we'll see what happens. They still have about 4 or 5 games that are easy winnable games on their schedule.
I was gonna say, they got 5 losses, right? They've lost 4 in a row. They're in New England today. They go to Houston on Halloween. They have Arizona. They host Houston. I'm sorry. They go to Arizona. They have the Colts, the Seahawks at home, the Dolphins and Jags on the road, the Rams, the Bills, the Dolphins. I mean, how many losses can you have and make the playoffs? 8 to get to 9 wins. I mean, there's more than I think there's at least 3 losses on the schedule. I think that's just that. Again, they're going to go back to that Broncos game and that Bills game and say that's where everything fell apart, right? Because the Steelers game was fine. I have no problem with that. Right? You can lose that game. You had the Bills, and you had to beat Denver in that. I know Denver's won a couple games.
The Denver loss is going to hurt because even when you look at the Bills, no matter how you lost to them, you're not really expected to beat the Bills at this point. So I mean. That stings a little bit, but at the same time, it's the Denver loss that's going to hurt them.
That's how I feel about the Chargers losing Arizona.
Point here about Lazard is that's why he went to Lazard because he knows Lazard. I mean, again, I don't know. It's not necessarily you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but like they're rebuilding the Packers roster in New York. And it's like,
well, no, I mean, listen, Lazard was the only one running the right routes too. Garrett Wilson was not where Aaron Rodgers expected him to be. He was taking 2-step dropbacks and 3-step dropbacks and ripping. Garrett Wilson was not where he was supposed to be. Conklin wasn't where he was supposed to be. And it's just like, shit, if I don't know where guys are going to be at, I'm going to throw to Lazard. So now you got Lazard. I mean, I think Mike Williams is another one. Mike Williams doesn't even know where he's out on the field half the time. And if you're not just throwing the ball out to him, he's not getting it, then that's that. So that doesn't always allow you to play plays in the playbook to do that. So can't blame him for that.
It is real quick. It is going to be interesting to see if they don't make the playoffs, what they're going to do from a coaching staff perspective. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do moving forward because this system is built to make Rodgers feel comfortable with Hackett. I don't see a dog's chance in hell that they will bring back Hackett for a 3rd consecutive year if they don't make the playoffs 2 years in a row under him. It's just going to be really interesting to see what they're going to do.
I think it's clear they're going to do what Rodgers wants to do.
Yeah, which will be crazy. Crazy.
But that's the chips. That's the hand they went in with.
I know. I agree.
I think they're looking at what Tampa Bay did with Tom Brady, and they're kind of hoping it's the same magic, but they're going to realize that Aaron is not Tom Brady.
Last but not least, I think we're all semi-bullish, if not fully bullish, on the Bengals now, right? So they've had a couple tough losses. They have a game today, which I think is winnable, but that's my personal opinion. The division is not running well. I mean, they're 3-4. You got 2-5-2 teams ahead of you. I think Pittsburgh will fall off eventually. Where are you with Cincinnati? Again, they've got one more win than the Dolphins and Jets, who we just talked about. They have a quarterback who I love in Joe Burrow. He has guys to throw to, not today because T. Higgins is out. Where are you on the Bengals? Can they turn this around? And again, I picked them to win a Super Bowl, so see where I'm at with that.
I mean,
I
they're
want
not-
to.
they beat some bad teams, you know. You
They've
can't
been
look at their schedule and think that they won anything, right? They beat the Panthers. Who they beat last week? The Browns.
The Giants and the Browns, all on the road. They've lost all their home games.
There you go.
They're 3-4 right now, right, Brian? Can you go through the schedule real quick?
The remaining or what they've done?
The remaining.
So they host the Eagles today. They host the Raiders next week. They go to Baltimore. They go to the Chargers. They host the Steelers. They go to Dallas, to Tennessee, hosting the Browns. They got 3 games in 10 days in December. They host the Broncos. They finish up in Pittsburgh.
Oh my God, dude! They're gonna be like one of those teams. That Bengals and Charger game is gonna be very important because I think it's gonna be between those 2 teams and a couple other teams for that last wild card, like the 6-7 spots. I think it might be a little too late if they don't win today.
I think they win.
This is the must win today against Philly.
I think they win today. I think they win obviously against the Raiders. Said
Which makes you 5-4.
They got Tennessee on there. You said they got
the Browns,
Tennessee, Browns, Broncos, Steelers. They'll probably split with the Steelers too. I mean,
I think you got to go.
this is a 500 team. It's a 500 team.
It's a 500 team.
You got 1 against the Ravens, 2 against. You got to win 2 out of those 3 games.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So 1 against the Ravens and 2 against the Steelers.
Yeah, you got to win 2 out of the 3.
And Steelers is the last game of the year, so I mean, Steelers is the last game of the year. It could be some exciting football week, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got a chance with Joe Burrow right now. He's playing excellent football. I mean, he's like got 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Offense is rolling. Defense playing better. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's looking like 500. It's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough.
Whether they win or not today, I think Burrow lights up the Eagles.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean,
it's that secondary, 1,000%.
I think today, they got to get Higgins healthy, obviously. But I think if their defense could keep the score down for them, I think they're very dangerous.
Last before we get into the game,
upright.
That'll be the first game actually. But if you could fire one coach right now for whatever reason you want, I don't even care. Who would you fire and why?
Jeez.
Good question. I mean, you know my obvious answer, but
yeah.
Let's fire Andy Reid.
Besides him,
Let's
fire
fire
Andy Reid.
Fire Andy Reid. Team's too good.
I want to fire Andy Reid.
Patrick Mahomes isn't playing good enough, so we're gonna fire Andy Reid.
Let's fire him. See what happens. Shake it up a little bit. See how the AFC shakes out.
You know what? Let's fire him in Kansas City and give him some money to come to Dallas.
Nah, I'm good with him. He's a worse father than he is coach.
Oh,
Jesus!
I don't want him near. I don't want him near this team.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, don't forget Andy Reid's a scumbag. Look at his backfield mate, Kareem Hunt. Come on now.
I mean, I will say this. You know, the Saints used to be 2-0 a long time ago. Now they're 2-5. So
yeah, I mean,
injuries.
The obvious ones. Doug Peterson's the obvious one. Doug Peterson's an obvious one. So
I don't fire. If I have to fire any coach, why would I fire Doug Peterson? Jacksonville's irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
The question's kind of skewed, where it's like, if I can pick, like I would fire Campbell, so I can have him as like defensive coordinator or something like that. So
I mean, I think Dennis Allen needs to go for New Orleans.
If I had to pick one from I hope the Raiders retain Antonio Pierce, but I mean Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, he's not last.
How the hell did you go from having all your guys all about you to this year? Now you traded one, and now you have one that has to constantly go on his podcast and say, I do not want to be traded. I want to be a Raider. But yet, you're on the sidelines literally like vocally abusing your head coach and telling him, da-da-da-da, like, you suck. You don't know what you're doing. Like, it's just obvious, right? Like, he's
I don't
terrible.
know. Like, I think that's kind of like a prime example of, like, the coach. he acts more like the player. Like I could see like him just dogging, getting on guys like he would as like he was a player. Maybe because of the age gap, Antonio Pierce. I know he retired a while ago, but I mean, he probably still has it in him. He feels like, so. I just feel like
I'm sure Antonio Pierce will jack up some of them guys on that team
that's what I mean.
real quick, and some of these guys now are sensitive. So
yeah, they can't handle it. He probably shows them that tough love that he got. And, the guys flip on him. The locker room flips on him. So
listen, I'm not mad at him because the Raiders did nothing in the offseason to try to win football games.
That too. They give him no quarterback. They tried to get no one.
He's coaching a bunch of guys besides Max Crosby that's not going to be there more than a couple of years anyway,
I mean, they went out and drafted a tight end that they really don't even need. They didn't need.
He's playing well, at least.
Yeah. Oh, he's playing excellent. But I mean,
wide receiver one.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
Could be because Minshew and O'Connell.
I gotta push back quick. They did invest in the offensive line. They did invest in linebacking core. They did invest on a lot of areas that he was adamant about investing in. The only issue that we have you bring up is quarterback situation.
Exactly.
Gardner Minshew is not the answer.
If you go,
McConnell,
I don't care if you put.
They weren't trying to trade up to get Jaden Daniels. The problem is they don't want to get rid of Gus Crosby. That was the issue.
Put the Washington Redskins offensive line in the early 80s and Gardner Minshew behind them, you're still not trying to win. If you're rolling out there Gardner Minshew, you're not trying to win football games. It's just that. And your team knows it. It doesn't matter how good your young offensive line is and your linebacking core is because, that's ancillary to what the quarterback position is. And it just – guys like Devontae Adams wasn't healthy there because – and it's just going to permanently – a veteran like that, a Hall of Fame player – just destroying your entire team like that. Crosby is Crosby. So, I mean, it's just a tough situation. And like I said, if you're fine with rolling out Gardner Minshew as your starter and you're backing him, you're not really trying to win football games. Down the road, they'll be fine with a nice young offensive line. But right now, it's hard to keep that locker room intact.
Yeah. Tom Brady's taking over. So it doesn't.
Belichick.
They already said. They said Tom Brady's going to have a huge role in personnel and things like that.
I mean, if they want to win,
they're giving Tom Brady the keys pretty much.
Well, they got to get him.
There's nobody, somebody with Tom Brady's competitiveness, and a little bit more ability to do things because let's talk about the two goats real quick, right? You got Jordan as an owner and you got Tom Brady as an owner. The difference is Jordan did not pick a franchise that would allow him to get free agents or anything like that. Tom Brady has a franchise. He has the Raiders. He has Las Vegas. I mean, there's a perfect storm there. Nobody's signing with the Charlotte Hornets. So you got the competitiveness of Tom Brady and competitiveness of Michael Jordan making them the greatest of all time. But now Tom Brady's actually put himself in to be a way to be successful. And not just kind of like a side project like the Charlotte Hornets are.
We'll get to the games, and we'll start with that game in Cincinnati today as the 4-2 Eagles visit the 3-4 Bengals. Bengals 2.5-point favorites, 47.5 is the number. Saquon Barkley, 658 rushing yards through 6 games is an Eagles record. Jamar Chase has 600 yards and 6+ touchdowns for the first 7 games for the 3rd time in his career. I believe he's only the 5th receiver ever to do this, and I believe it was Moss, Owens, Rice, and Harrison the other 4. So definitely elite company. Hey, here's a question, guys. Who's the best quarterback in this game?
I mean, really?
No, that's a rhetorical question.
To be honest, if you listen to the Philadelphia radio this week, there was a lot of people saying Jalen.
Stop it.
I'm telling you, Drew, that's what you
get. How is that even a thought?
That's what you get on the radio around here, Drew. That's what you get on the radio.
What's the radio station called in Philly?
WIP.
WIP. But that's their kind of calls, and it's the delusion.
So I mean, if you want to dive into it real quick, WIP is the reason why Philly fans are like Philly fans because for decades, all WIP has been doing has been an outlet for Philly fans to be crybabies and griping and bitching and moaning. And if they do have a good game, they think they're the best thing in sliced bread. And the Philly media never allowed any kind of national interaction.
Is that are Philly Eagles fans? I know how they are, but would you pair them with Philly, the Phillies, like type of fans?
Yeah.
Are they like kind of the same type of thing? Or
Phillies are more of a fair weather. I mean, Eagles fans in general are fair weather, but Eagles fans are louder and a little bit more obnoxious, I think, because I am a Phillies fan and I can be both, but at the same time, it's different because it's just a longer season. The game is different. There's more visceral. You don't see Philadelphia Phillies fans eating shit when we won the World Series. It doesn't happen. But an Eagles fan, absolutely.
And
the reason
the Eagles are probably the biggest thing in the city. They're above the Phillies.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea, okay, the two people that are sitting on this stage, other than me and you, Drew, are both Phillies fans. They're both Sixers fans, but they are clearly not Eagles fans. And moving hockey off, that's whatever. The point of the matter is like that there are people who will like the baseball team and like the basketball team and probably even the hockey team, but they cannot stand the football team.
Well, the only reason why I asked is because I watched a dope-ass documentary last night on Netflix about that fan that took over for the Trey Turner thing. That was an amazing documentary for 25 minutes. I love that. That's a dope dude that did that, bro. That's really cool. So that's why I bring it up. Because I never really see any issues with Philly fans. It's really just been Eagle fans.
Well, in California, you're not going to see it too much.
It's a lot overblown. It's a lot overblown.
Like hockey's not. I mean, hockey's is that still big out there too, right? You guys have
the Flyers have been down for a number of years. So that's kind of where that is.
I don't know the name, Tyler. Sorry, brother. I think it's like the turnover or something like that.
Who has the best? Who has
the
best receivers?
The turnaround.
Who has the better receivers in this game? So are you going Chase Higgins? I know Higgins isn't active, but Chase Higgins or Brown Smith?
I like Chase. I like Chase Higgins. I like Higgins.
Higgins is not playing.
He's not. No. I think he just means like as a general rule, if you're going to pick one.
Oh, general.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Higgins is a bigger wide receiver, and I like that duo better.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the whole receiving core. I'll take Isavas over
Isavas
in this game as well. So give me Chase, give me Isavas. See a Jermaine
over
Burton.
Dotson.
What's that?
Over John Dotson.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles.
Exactly.
What do the Eagles give the Commanders?
Like they actually gave up more than the Jets gave up for Adams, and the more than they got for Cooper.
The Bill. Yeah.
Oh my God! But listen, hold on. To go back to Eagles fans, right? When that happened, oh my God! Look at what the Eagles just did. This guy's going to be awesome, and I'm like, he cut as many balls as I did. What are you talking about?
My brother did the same thing. I said, dude, what are you talking about, bro?
Like, failure.
Do you think teams in the NFL are going to give guys to teams in their division for nothing? Like you think
that's why the Eagles. That's why Eagles traded Donovan App to the Redskins at that time, because he was trash. He was done. His career was done. They got a deal on that one.
Yeah, I mean, give me the Bengals in this game. I really like the Bengals. I think they're going to shred up the Eagles' D. Like I said earlier, I mean, the Eagles' offense has not been impressive. If it wasn't for Saquon and A.J. Brown, I mean, it's really their passing game is really drop back and throw a bomb to A.J. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and he closed his eyes when he threw the ball to A.J. Brown.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, their offense is just horrible. The plays they're running. I mean, you guys are talking about Kellen Moore. I mean, he's running the football. They're a running football team. I mean, I think they had 14 pass attempts last week. If the Eagles have to get involved in a shootout, I don't trust Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, give me the Bengals here. Give me a Jamar Chase touchdown, plus 70 yards. I like the Bengals today at home.
Not only that, dude, they also don't have Dallas Goedert. He's not playing today. Yeah. So that's another huge loss for Jalen Hurts in this offense. It's pretty simple, Brian. We already talked about earlier. Bengals need to win. They're hungry. Joe Burrow's number 4. We talked about this morning in the Blitz. He's number 4 in fantasy rankings for quarterbacks. He's been cooking as of late, and so I think he's going to absolutely destroy this weakened secondary of Eagles and expose them. And I think we might have some breaking news tomorrow morning on Monday.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles have no pass rush. Last
They have a good rushing defense, but they have no pass rush.
Yeah,
I agree
last
with you.
week's pass rush was an illusion because they played the Giants, whose offensive line is like a sieve.
It's
Dave Jones is trash.
It's so it's so funny how but exact opposite the Eagles and the Cowboys are, because if the Eagles get behind, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
but the Cowboys are ahead. Good luck trying to keep a running game. So it's a big play, and I don't think the Bengals are going to be a team that's going to sit down and not just. Joe Burrow should torture this team. Now they did have some sacks last week against Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones and Joe Burrow there's a little talent gap in between those two players. So it's different. Jamar Chase is going to go out there and destroy this team with Joe Burrow hand in hand, and it's going to be very interesting to see if what happens. Who did the Eagles play 2 weeks ago? When the Eagles got down 14-0,
the Browns.
The
Browns.
You would have thought that they were down 30-0 because the way they started throwing the ball, they abandoned the run game, and that's going to be a death sentence if they try to do it to the Bengals today. I like the Bengals. I like the over. I like Jamar Chase over. I like Joey over 275 yards. I'm going to also take A.J. Brown over 70 yards as well. I think, he'll put his yards up no matter what.
I was critical of Hurts because he was a one read and run, but that's when he was actually at his best, right? Like
he can't run anymore.
No, but he doesn't process his reads quick enough to get to reads 2 and 3. So at least when he couldn't get to read 1 and it wasn't there, he ran. At least he was effective doing that. That and a pass rush was why the 22 Eagles went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had
the problem
very,
look over the middle at all.
Very important what Ant just said. Hurts can't do what he did 2 years ago when he went to the Super Bowl. Either there's something wrong with him, because Kellen Moore can adapt and do RPO. The fact that he's not doing that anymore is very bewildering to me, because that's his bread and butter, like you just said, Atard. And he's not doing that anymore. Look at their offense; they don't do that anymore. So it's like, what's wrong with you, dude?
What's baffling
with
what's baffling with the Eagles' offense is they got probably the best running back in the league, and they have no play action game. They have none. Like, they run no quarterback under center, no play action. So their offense is it's very stagnant and very
because Hurts doesn't like to have us back to the play.
Yeah, because when you turn around, you can't process the defense.
Last year, Kellen Moore, one of the top 10 offensive coordinators using play action. So it's not a Kellen Moore issue.
I think Hurts can do it.
I just want to throw that out there. It's not a Kellen Moore issue.
It's a Sirianni, it's a Jalen Hurts, it's a Kellen Moore combination. It's a bad combination together. It's Hurts' abilities are limited because he only throws outside the numbers. He doesn't throw it over the middle. So that means he isn't progressing left and right. He's either looking left outside the numbers and staying left. He doesn't progress either. So he's a one-trick pony, and teams are keen on that.
And Tone, to be honest, they waste an all-star tight end. I mean, they've had Goddard for how many years? And it's just been an absolute waste because they can't.
Where does the tight end run his routes at? Ant?
That's what I'm saying. They've wasted a guy's career.
Seems 9 routes and out routes.
Exactly. I mean, they've wasted a talent, a great draft pick that they had.
To be fair though, that dude is becoming very injury prone. I mean, 3 out of the 4 years, he's not going to finish. He's not going to finish more than 13 games. That's an issue. But I agree with you, Ant. They haven't used the tight end position as well as they should be. So
and the Eagles were known for years for being one of the best screen teams. I haven't even seen Saquon Barkley run a screen pass this year, which is the Bengals all day today. I'll be shocked if the Eagles win.
Drop that ball against the Falcons. Maybe they haven't gotten over that. I like the Bengals by 10 here today. Actually, frankly, I'm going to get technical.
If the Eagles win, I'd be a shock.
Yeah. Baltimore Ravens are at 5-2 after starting 0-2. The Browns are 1-6 because the Browns are 1-6. Baltimore is laying 8.5 today. 46.5 is the number. Lamar Jackson has more passing yards and passing touchdowns through 7 games than either of his MVP seasons. For the Browns, there's not a lot to be happy about, but Nick Chubb just needs one more touchdown for 50 career, be the 3rd Brown ever to do that. Nice to see him back from the injury. listen, again, look, this is a game Baltimore should run away with, right? So, there's not a lot to break down here. The Browns are in hell, and that's where they are. And, you can talk about whether they deserve to be there or not by their decisions. It is what it is. But the Ravens are an absolute juggernaut right now. I mean, they're just beating people down. I mean, they're running the ball very, very, very effectively, which is opening up the pass for Lamar Jackson, which is good. That's what quarterbacks should be doing.
Lamar throws it out the middle of the field.
Real quick, I'll just say this real quick. I don't know about you guys, but for me, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are my 1 and 2 for MVP right now rankings. I want to see Derrick Henry have a game. I want to see a running back win MVP this year really bad. I would love to see it with him. It would be really cool to see that at his age and what he's been able to do, and the pick that he made to go into Baltimore. Really cool. Baltimore side, I agree with you. It should be a runaway for them. But Browns will play tough because it's a new quarterback in Cleveland, and Jameis Winston. Say what you want about him. He's an enlightening kind of funny dude, and I think these guys are going to rally around him as much as they can. But it's not going to be enough. Shout out to Nick Chubb, man. That injury last year, we were all here on the following Sunday, and we were just devastated by how bad of a hit he took. And his knee took. For him to come back out last week and look almost like his old self, almost in a sense, was really refreshing to see as a fan of his, because I love Nick Chubb's game, and I hope he gets his 50 today. And it is Baltimore all day long, and Kevin Stefanski's on the hot seat for sure.
Chris Wilson calling for the Browns outright.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I don't see it.
You know what? You could see a little bit of like if that ridiculous pregame speech that Jameis Winston gives to everybody, that people and a lot of his teammates even did is laugh at him. Really, exactly. I mean, every week he's giving a pregame speech. Then Deshaun Watson's going out there throwing interceptions. It's kind of idiotic. The Browns aren't going to win this game as a home dog outright, simply because it's the Ravens. The Ravens are familiar with them. The Ravens have a chip on their shoulder against them. I understand your logic, but the opponent right now is just not a good matchup for them to kind of sneak up on somebody.
They could cover.
It's the Ravens.
Cover the spread.
Cover the spread. A home dog outright's a little different statement, though.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's what I mean. They could cover.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So it is good to see Nick Chubb back on the field. I got to disagree with Drew, though. Derrick Henry, nice story, MVP. They're not giving it to a running back anytime soon.
Yeah, but
they're definitely not giving it. What's that?
Can you give the MVP to Lamar, knowing what Derrick Henry has done for him?
Well, I mean, he has been multiple MVP already. Yeah.
I know, but does that kind of like disqualify Lamar for the MVP because what Derrick Henry has done for him?
If you take Derrick Henry off the Ravens, Lamar can still win the MVP. You take Lamar off the Ravens, Derrick Henry doesn't sniff an MVP.
All right.
Just how it is. Just how it is. You put the backup quarterback in right now. Derrick Henry's not doing nothing.
For what his age and what he's at in his career, where people kept telling him the train's gonna, the wheels are gonna come off the train soon because of how many yards he's put on those two legs. That from that standpoint for him, as we go into week 8, he's leading every category. So that's
phenomenal story, and a big fan of it.
I get what you're saying, but I just think if he has those type of games, right? Let's say he reaches the 20 to 24 touchdown range, right?
But Drew, have guys won the MVP that have run for 2,000? He's got a shot for 2,000 yards. If he gets to 2,000,
he's on pace for it.
So the guys have in the past, have they won the MVP? The guys in the past.
Jamal Williams did not win MVP that year.
Adrian
Peterson has. LT didn't have it, but LT has 30 something touchdowns.
Chris Johnson didn't get an MVP.
No.
So I mean,
that's what I'm saying. If he leads all categories and he gets between 24 and 28 touchdowns, I think there's a shot for him to get MVP, because we haven't seen a running back do that since LT. So I'm just throwing it out there. That's all.
I just think the game's changed.
Yeah, the award has changed. It's not really the game has changed, but the award has changed. The most valuable is a quarterback award. Offensive player of the year, they'll give it to a running back. That's the caveat how they get around
Because
this
think
stuff.
about it. Why
Peterson won it
That's
in
true. That's
like
true.
20 when Peterson ran 2011, 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago, and there's been some
very long
impressive
time.
running backs. So,
like
I agree.
how would someone be the MVP in offense and then not be the offensive player of the year?
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
different award.
They do that because
It's
it's
happened.
Yeah.
It's happened
So
multiple times.
annoying. I hate it.
You know what I mean?
They
Though,
do
like
hate
it's
it.
like, oh, you're saying this is the most valuable guy in the whole league. He plays
Because
offense.
there's
This
no
other
position-
guy played better
Because
off.
it's flat out simple.
most important position.
It's no position is more valuable than the quarterback.
Correct.
And
They do
every
the same
year,
thing-
the most valuable player is a quarterback. So I got to go, guys. I got to get out of here. Appreciate it. See you guys next weekend. Always fun.
All right, see ya.
Fuck
They do-
Michael out.
They do the same.
All right, we got 45 minutes, a lot of games to get to, so we're gonna go a little more quickly here.
We're gonna roll through here.
Tennessee going to Detroit, 11.5-point line, 44.5 is the number. Yes, yeah. So Tennessee, their 1-5 record is the worst by a team that led the NFL in total defense since at least 1950. Montgomery and Gibbs, the first pair of teammate running backs since 91 to each have 15 touchdowns in their first 20 games together. This game's not going to be very competitive. I don't think there's a lot to break down here. You know, this is going to be Detroit, and I don't think Tennessee's going to be able to cover, frankly.
Yeah, I like Detroit today. I'm just going to jump straight into the props. I think the
Lions are 5-1.
Oversight on my part, doing it late last night.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I was watching the
The-
Yankees.
Sorry, brother.
lose.
You're good. You're good, brother. You're
So
good.
I was watching the Yankees lose.
Oh boy, I kind of favor Detroit's
Don't bring that up.
passing game today. Tennessee's strength is a little on the run, so I'm favoring. I like St. Brown to score a touchdown. You're getting plus value on him, and look out for Khalil Raymond with Jamison Williams not playing today, suspended 2 games. Plus 300 on touchdowns. I got a sneaky feeling on him today.
So in the league that Drew's in with me, that we play every team, you play your entire roster. I had Higgins. I had to put him on IR because he's out today. So I did pick up Khalif Raymond because it's a total Hail Mary play. But there's also
No, right now he's the second. It's him, Laporta, and St. Brown. So
I love that league, and I hate it at the same time.
it's 84 receivers are rostered. They're going to play today. So
yes,
hate that league.
we'll tweak a couple.
He's gonna get some looks today. But yeah, Detroit all day today. This is
Where are you on? Where are you on Goff in the MVP race?
he's right up there. He's right up there. He's playing excellent football. You can't deny it. That offense is clicking. Him and Ben Johnson, they have a good rapport. Like I said, they're running these beautiful play action plays. They got it going, man, and they have all the weapons. So I think Goff's going to be in that conversation all year.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I think Goff for what he's been doing, dude. The 18 for 18, I think was a couple weeks ago, and then his quarterback rating and passer rating is out of this world. So he's absolutely playing. He's playing phenomenal. So is Josh Allen, who hasn't thrown 1 pick yet this year, which is absolutely bananas. Knock on wood for him as he plays today. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, and I have Goff up there in my MVP rankings as well. Also, for the game today, like you said about Tennessee, I expect a lot of Tyler Boyd to stand up. I think Tyler Boyd is going to have a good fill and shoot now that DeAndre Hopkins is gone. On the flip side, for me, Khalif Raymond is something to look at, but how about Sam Laporta having a breakout day today?
I need him to.
Let's have it.
It's tight end day.
Let's have it.
It's tight end day. I think Laporta can get some look. The main concern in this game is if it gets out of hand, Detroit's just going to pump the brakes.
Oh, 1,000%.
There's no point. There's no point of doing it. So fantasy wise, they got to get off to a hot start. Betting wise, with some of these guys, you got to be careful of that. These guys could easily get pulled out of the game. So
I agree.
Detroit all day.
Yeah, Detroit all day for me too. They should have home field advantage throughout the NFC.
Yeah,
Brian, we can't hear you. The next game on field here is
good.
There he is.
Everything else. I don't know how it happened, but
you're good, brother. You're good.
Technology. damn Apple. Anyway, so Cards 3-4, Dolphins 2-4, 4.5 the number, 46.5 is the over under. Arizona, before they beat the Drew's Chargers last week, they were 1-41 since 2018 when scoring 17 or less.
Wow.
Disgusting.
Look how sad Drew is. I'm sorry.
That was a tough one.
We had to win that game.
Yeah, you had it. That was a tough one.
For Miami, that's the second biggest drop-off ever in points per game. They had 29.2 points per game last year, just 11.7 this year. We think we know why. Now, that player's coming back today. Now, we said it might be too little, too late. We really don't know. Arizona's probably happy at 3-4, though, right? I mean, this is a difference, like both sides of the coin here. Miami's really disappointed at 2-4, but they understand why. Arizona's on the upswing. It's a tough game for them, I think, but I mean, this is winnable for them too.
It is. I like Miami in this spot today. I think the spread is a little too high. If you're taking a game, maybe go with an alternative line. Maybe just take the money line on the Dolphins. But I'm kind of going with the circumstances here. I kind of feel the Cardinals coming off a short week. They got to travel all the way back to Miami. Usually a tough place to play. So I think the Dolphins get it clicking today. Tua's going to get the ball out of his hands like he usually does, get it to his playmakers. And I think the Dolphins win this game today. So give me the Dolphins and listen, Hill's telling you, put me in the lineup today. So give me a Ty Hill touchdown. Give me an over on his yards. I think today he comes back.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree and push back against Ant. I think you should take the over on this total because this game is going to be bananas. Both defenses suck really bad. I think the Cardinals game on Monday night was just one of those things where it's an anomaly. Chargers offense is so anemic, it's ridiculous. You're not gonna have that with Miami. Miami has some dogs in the fight. 18 looks healthy. You got Hill, got Waddle. A guy that I talked about this morning on the Blitz was Jono Smith. I think he's coming into his own these last 2 weeks. I think that's going to continue this week with Tua back. And on the flip side, man, Miami has no answer for the rush. And James Conner is going to have a day today. So Kyler Murray, James Conner, MHJ, Gordon Dutch, and Trey McBride. Greg Dortch, sorry. And Trey McBride. Both offenses are going to be top notch. Both defenses suck. Who's going to make the most stops is going to come down to. I got the Cardinals winning this game, but it's going to be one of the most. I think it's one of those games, Brian and Ant, where it's going to be like, oh wow, yeah, like who's going to have the ball last type of thing. So I'm actually looking forward to this game. I think this game is going to be a lot of fun to watch. So.
I need Harrison Jr. to step up. I mean, right now he's been a disappointment.
I agree.
I actually benched him in one. I'm in 3 leagues. I benched him in one.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick in one of my leagues.
Yeah, so I mean, I need some breakout from him. I mean, I feel like they should just look at him more often.
Exactly. What you just said. They need to look at him more often. Yeah. Exactly.
Let me tell you something that you already know and should be very obvious. If the New York Jets lose today, the season is over. They are 7-point favorites in New England. 40.5 is the number. Aaron Rodgers' career, 23-10 against a rookie head coach, 15-7 against a rookie quarterback, 4-4 against both, which is interesting. Drake May is the first rookie quarterback with 500-plus passing yards, 5+ touchdowns, and 50+ rushing yards in his first 2 games. You're seeing why he went as high as he did in the draft. I still think he could end up being the best of the bunch, and that's not even a shot against Daniels or Caleb. I liked I saw a lot of Justin Herbert in Drake May in the tape that I saw.
They all could be good. This it has the potential to be
good quarterback class.
Yes, 150%.
He's playing really well.
If the Jets lose today, it's over. It's done. DONE. They are done. They need to go on a line of wins here. They got to go on a run. If you can't win this game, you can't win any game, Drew.
Can you pull up the schedule for the Jets, please?
Sure.
And one thing, and I want to know if you would agree, which Quig was here, but which I always respect your opinion. The Giants, hold on, Brian. The Giants, if they would have ended up getting Jaden Daniels, do not try to convince me that the Giants wouldn't be leading in the NFC East right now because of all the games that they've been playing. Their defense is so good. Their defense is being very overlooked. They're really good. I'm telling you right now, if you have Jaden Daniels on that team would be completely different
What if they had
without
May?
Malik Neighbors.
What if they had May?
Yeah, they
Same
wanted
thing.
May.
Same
Giants
thing.
won.
Daniel
They
Jones
wanted
is that
Drake May.
bad.
Yeah.
That's how bad Daniel Jones is. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh,
They would be in the condition.
Listen, so I had this conversation with Tom Scavetta, our friend at Review and Preview. Does a lot of great Giants stuff. If you're a Giants fan, definitely check out Review and Preview. They're wonderful. I said point blank, the Giants making the playoffs that year where they won a bunch of coin flip games pushed the whole thing back 5 years minimum. Because
Let's be fair. Hold on now. They didn't have to sign him to that deal.
I think
that was
they did.
A bad mistake by the GM.
Yeah, but Drew, but how do you listen? Look, you know how I feel about it. I agree with you, right? But how do you tell a fan base, hey, we just won a playoff game, but we're not going to sign our quarterback?
Easy. You do what you said.
You think
scheduling? Look at who we played.
You think the Giants fan base would have pushed back?
Yes.
No. You really do?
No.
I don't think so. I really don't.
I do. There were people that believed in us that year.
Brian, in rare situations, I agree with you all the time about not paying running backs. Saquon's different. His situation's different because they just had nothing in New York.
Can I?
If you would go right, and agree with me or not, if you would go and get a guy, get anybody besides Daniel Jones almost, and you play out last year, right? And then you get that top pick, you wouldn't have to worry about this. This wouldn't have been an issue. You could have got your selection of the pick. You could have had Drake May. You could have had Jaden Daniels. You could have had Caleb Williams. You could have had anybody. But because you wanted to sign Daniel Jones to a stupid contract, because based off of 1 year, it's idiotic to me. Beyond idiotic. One of the worst contracts ever in the history of the NFL.
Especially when you know the future, what was coming. Like these three quarterbacks weren't a mystery. Like they were good players.
Agreed.
People they knew were coming.
The Giants,
You know what I mean?
The Giants took Barkley to try to elongate Eli's career.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
If they didn't do that, they probably get Sam Darnold or Josh Allen, right? But let's just say it's Josh Allen would be a great pick. Let's just say it was Sam Darnold. By the time Sam Darnold would have probably been out of the league by 2020 or 2021, they could have had Justin Herbert. They could have had Joe Burrow. They could have had Trevor Lawrence. Could have had a bunch of guys. Like, so what I'm saying is, like, every time that team should zig, they zag. And it's been a problem for a while. Look, Neighbors is
since 2011.
Neighbors is an unbelievable talent, but is that really what this team needed? Was a wide receiver?
No.
How'd we get on the Giants?
Because we're talking about the Jets. I don't know. The point anyway.
Go to the schedule.
Drake May and everything else. No, you're fine. You're fine. Look. I don't care how you slice it. If the Jets lose today, they're done. They are absolutely out of it entirely. You're not gonna run a table and win 9 games.
Okay, do the schedule now. Do the schedule now.
Jets schedule
3 and 5. They'll be 3 and 5 today. After today.
All right. They host Houston on Halloween.
Lost.
3 and 6. They go to Arizona.
Win. 4 and 6.
They host Indianapolis.
And you think we
listen, I think they could be in the apples. Just
Win.
Okay, 5 and 6.
Win 5 and 6. They host Seattle at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Oh my God!
They host Seattle 1:00 in the afternoon.
All right, give me the Jets. Seattle
6 and 6.
To Miami.
To Miami. I'll take the Jets there.
7 and 6.
Yeah.
At Jacksonville.
8 and 6.
8 and 6. They host the Rams.
8 and 7.
8 and 7. They go to Buffalo.
9 and 8. 8 and 8.
So Buffalo beat them already, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna
they host Miami.
Okay, and then we'll split with Miami.
9 and 8.
There you go.
Oh.
So I think the Houston game is a 50-50, to be honest with you. Houston's shown that it's tough to stop the run. They struggle to stop the run, and Stroud hasn't been at his best. So I think that game's a 50-50. I think
the Seattle game's 50-50.
But listen, again,
Rams are 50-50.
Hold on, Drew. West Coast team, 1 p.m. game, East Coast. That matters.
Oh, the
That's
Jets
what
are hosting Seattle?
Yeah, that's what I'm basing it on.
Oh, yeah, then I give them the
That's
edge.
at MetLife.
For sure. So then, yeah, they'll be okay. So they'll either be 9-8 or they'll be 10-7, is what Ant's saying.
Pretty much.
All right. We got to go 3 minutes a game the rest of the way. To
All
have
right.
to get
Yeah,
Okay.
Jets
All right.
today. By the half point, take the Jets by 6.5.
Yeah,
Devontae 115 on anytime touchdown. That's good value. Take it.
Yeah, Jets me today as well. You can move on.
NFC South battle, 4-3 Falcons, 4-3 Bucks. Atlanta's favor, probably because everybody's hurt on the Bucks. 45.5 is the number. Cousins leads the NFL on third down and completion percentage, and he's fourth in passer rating, so that's nice. Mayfield is the top quarterback in the league, 20 touchdowns through 7 games, although he's missing his top 2 targets. Listen, you need a fantasy guy? Jalen McMillan.
Yeah.
Trey Palmer, Sterling Shepard.
And they're
going to get.
Why are you taking my soundbite for, dude?
I'm sorry.
Listen,
as you were.
And all 3 of their running backs. They got 3 running backs they're going to be using also today. I love Rashad White to score. He's at plus 115. You're getting good value there. It's going to be tough on Baker without these guys. Those guys are really good. Give me the Falcons today. I'll take the Falcons on the 2.5. I think they're good enough. I think the Buccaneers struggle stopping the run. Bijan, big day. Give me a Bijan touchdown over 80 yards. I think that's going to take the Falcons over the top today.
Real quick, that big defense has struggled all year this year in both phases of the game.
Yeah.
Bijan, big game today. Also, Drake London. Kyle Pitts has had 3 straight weeks of meeting over his projections on fantasy and reality. He's number 6 right now, tight end 6. I think he's going to have another big game today. It's easily for me, Brian. It's going to be the Falcons. Now they're going to win the South, and they'll be 5-3 after today. And I don't think there's going to be any team in the South. Obviously, the Panthers are not going to have a threat. The Saints are still figuring out how their toes connect to their feet. They're going to be terrible all year. And Buccaneers, unfortunately, the injuries and prayers up to Godwin, man. I feel so bad for him because he's having a career year before.
And it was the end of the game. And it was like
I know.
End of the game. It was.
But I don't blame Todd Bowles for that decision.
No.
Falcons are going to be 5-3. Brian, Buccaneers are not going to make the playoffs this year.
3 of the last 4 games for Atlanta this year: at the Raiders, hosting the Giants; at Washington, hosting the Panthers. So I think that you get a bit of a soft landing at the end. I think that they do have the opportunity to really.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat. They have to take care of business. They have to take care of business.
They could push Detroit for that number 1 seed.
Sure.
Because of their schedule.
I think their offense is just as comparable as Detroit's too. I mean, they have weapons all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, offensively,
all depends on Kirk, man.
Yeah,
Kirk got to show up.
Yep, they can keep up.
5-2 Green Bay Packers at the 2-5 Jacksonville Jaguars. 4-point spread, 49.5 is the number. Green Bay's defense leads the NFL with 17 takeaways this year, multiple takeaways in 6 of their 7 games. For Jacksonville, you can bash Trevor Lawrence if you want to, that's fine, but Brian Thomas leads the team, 5th best in the league, 513 yards. The problem I have with this game, Anthony, is the line should be higher, so that makes me concerned.
Well, it is a road dog. I mean, road favorite. They are going to Jacksonville. Yeah, I mean, watching this Jacksonville team, I don't see how Jordan Love don't light them up today. I mean, they've been letting up yards crazy. I mean, you just saw the other morning, you saw Drake May. He was having success passing the ball. So I really like the Packers today. I think I'm all over Jordan Love props. I think he throws multiple touchdowns, over 250. I got him. I just think the Packers are going to run away with this one today.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I got the Packers running away with this one too. This is also going to be another thing for me to say. I think we're going to have some breaking news this next couple of days after this game because I think Peterson's want to have feet out the door. I think this is going to get him out the door. It's going to be an embarrassment of riches today for the Green Bay Packers. For the Jaguars because Green Bay is going to absolutely dog walk them. There's nothing more to say about this, Brian, other than the fact that I do want to see Jordan Love have another big game today, only for personal preferences in the league that I'm in with you. That's it. That's all.
Fair enough.
I mean, the beef with the with Jordan Love right now, it's just his turnovers. I mean, he leads the league. I think he leads the league in touchdowns and turnovers. But I mean,
but you know what? Like, I'm just not bothered as much. Look, I'm not a huge Love guy, right? People can disagree with my opinions. I really couldn't care less. To me, the fact that he fell the way he did in the draft means the league was not very high in him coming out. Like, to me, in a league that overdrafts guys constantly, like, he fell, right? So to me, that's like the league doesn't really think that you're there. He's a fine player, right? I don't know if he's an elite guy, but he's a fine player. I don't necessarily get worried about the turnovers only because, like, you can avoid, it's kind of one of those things where, if I was ever president of the United States and I wanted to eliminate drunk driving, I could just outlaw cars and booze and there'd be no more drunk driving. Right. So it's one of those things where, like, sometimes the quarterback has to try to make a play and the defense.
Oh, Brian.
What?
That'd be a hell of a vote.
No, it's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, things are going to happen, right? When you're trying to squeeze into tight windows and make those plays. Yeah. People look, Green Bay knows better than anybody where Brett Favre played, right? So, like, that's going to happen. I don't necessarily hold that against the quarterback as much as some people do, because, again, Jalen Hurts doesn't throw picks, he doesn't throw the ball. Yeah. So, like, you can avoid that way. I think Love's fine. I think I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Really, at this point, I don't think it surprised me if anybody wins the NFC North. Like, that's just what it is.
I hear what you're saying. I'm the opposite of you. I think I agree with you. The league didn't look at him like that. But it pays dividends when you sit behind somebody for 3 years and learn the game, the NFL, like Brady said a couple weeks ago about these rookies just starting right away instead of just learning the game. It benefits people. So because of that, if he has another solid year this year, you have to put him in the tier 2, tier 3
That's fine.
bracket. You have to. So you have to.
Yeah, I have a very simplistic view. There's my elites and there's everybody else. Now, obviously, it's not that cut and dry.
Well, that's why I said tier 2, tier 3. I know you don't want to put in the elite status yet, but he's there. I mean, you can't argue with numbers. So, I mean,
what I like the way Green Bay's built their team. I hate the Jordan Love draft pick, and I will always hate the Jordan Love draft pick because I think you need to be all in at that point. I love Joe Burrow. If they drafted Joe Burrow, it's a dumb draft pick because, again, you should be all in with that team.
Right.
That's just my take on it. I'm not going to change my mind on that.
But I do what you're saying. But long road though, it's worked out.
No, I'm not disputing that. But they might have won something.
No, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying I'm looking at both sides. Sometimes two things can be right.
No, I understand. So, I just don't think that. So what the Jets are doing right now is what they absolutely should be doing with Aaron Rodgers. There is no tomorrow. You got to worry about right.
I agree.
Now, right. The Green Bay should have the same mentality, in my opinion.
I agree.
That's all.
I agree.
You can't be punting a pick 3 years down the road when you're trying to win right now.
That's why I'm saying if you're looking for a Super Bowl to win a Super Bowl, you always do the thing you can at all costs to win the Super Bowl. Because I'd rather have one than nothing for 30 years.
Will the Jets win this year? Probably not. Are they sure trying? Yes, and that's all you can do. My basic take. But no, Green Bay should win this game relatively. I mean, again, what concerns me is this -4. That tells me that this could be the Jaguars they make a field goal game.
I mean, I think the Jaguars are going to score. I mean, you got to look at guys like Bigsby. I don't know if ETN's playing. But obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, the Jaguars put up numbers. ETN's playing?
No, he's not playing.
He's not playing. Yeah.
Oh crap! We got to get going, dude. I got to fix some fantasy.
I'll get us through.
We got it.
Colts Texans -5, 45.5 the number. Jonathan Taylor has 685 and 7 touchdowns last 5 games against Houston. Just tortured them. Stroud has 13 touchdowns, no picks against AFC South teams. 6 of those touchdowns have come against the Chiefs. So this is a game where it's always kind of crazy every year when these two teams play each other. They both have winning records. I don't know how the Colts have a winning record right now. That's an anomaly to me. Stroud is someone who I think can get to that next stratosphere, the elite guys in the league. I hold him back because he went to Ohio State, and that's a problem for me. Because Ohio State never puts anybody out that's ever any good. So, but this is a game.
Quarterback-wise.
Yes. Yeah, quarterback-wise. So this is a game where if you're Houston and you're real, you have to win this game, right? And I'm not really taking shots at the Colts per se, but I'm not an Anthony Richardson guy. I just look at him as a phenomenal athlete, but you can't play quarterback.
He's very inaccurate.
Yeah, I just don't think it works. He has these amazing throws every so often. They're like, wow, can you do that more often? That'd be great. But listen, the Colts have won 4 of 5, right? So call it what it is. Although they've also last 2 games have beaten Tennessee, who stinks, and Miami with no quarterback. This is a bit of a different kind of animal for them. I do like Houston to win the game. 5 might be a touch too much, but I think Houston wins the game.
I think beyond. I'm taking the 5 here. I'm gonna take the Colts plus 5.5. I think Jonathan Taylor could give them a hard time today. Like I said, I think Houston's rush defense has been a little shaky, so I think it's going to be a close game. Texans will probably pull it out, but I'm going to take the plus 5.
Yeah, I got Texas win this game, and this is a big game for them, Brian, and because they win this game, they're really going to separate themselves in the South. So it's going to put them at 6-2, and with the Jags losing today and the Colts losing today, and I think Tennessee is going to eventually lose this game today too. It's going to be another notch for Texans for them to have an easy road to the playoffs, and I think it's going to be a close game though, Ant. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, listen, ride Joe Mixon today on his props. I mean, Joe Mixon has been killing it. I mean, Cincinnati's definitely missing out on just some Joe Mixon. He's playing well, and he got shut out last week. So give me a Tank Dell anytime touchdown plus 185.
Agree.
Saints haven't won a game in a month and a half. They visit the Los Angeles Chargers, who are laying a touchdown. 41.5 is the number. The Saints are second in the NFL with 10 picks and fourth with 10 rushing touchdowns. The Chargers, break up the Chargers, the only team in the league to allow 20 or fewer points in every game. Top scoring defense, 13.8. Drew, thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are this, dude. It's this simple. I'll be quick.
I
never expected this team. I never expected this team to make the playoffs. I knew this was going to be kind of like a reboot year, and so the fact that the defense is playing so well is really it's accommodating to what Jesse Minter and the Harbaugh staff has done for this team. But injuries are still plaguing us once again. Bosa is playing today. I hope he does something so we could trade his ass and get him out of LA. And other than that, man, I hope they just continue to build. I'm gonna take the Chargers today, man. Put them 4-3. I don't trust Rattler at all. And if Carr was playing today, I might take the Saints because Carr has been a Charger killer in his career. But other than that, I'm gonna go the Chargers, boys. And I think JK is gonna have a bounce back day today. Plug in Palmer. Palmer is going to have a day today, so I think he's going to have a good game today. New Orleans side, too many injuries, too many issues. I'm going to go Chargers.
You know why it's a reset year, and I said it coming in too because of the cap. So next year, the Chargers right now have the fourth most cap space in the league, fifth. I'm sorry, at $77 million, and that, my friends, that counts Bosa on the team. Counting 36.
That's huge.
Which he'll be gone. He's going to be cut.
He will be cut. Like, it's not. Listen, the dead money's not that bad. The dead money's 11 dead, but it opens up 25.
Yeah, they were saying it on a podcast earlier this week that the cuts that they'll do is going to put them over $100 million, and that's with Herbert signing his deal just 2 years ago. So they're going to get that Herbert deal done real quick. Probably extend until he's 34 or 35. That was what the rumors were earlier this week, that they want to get Herbert done and over with so they can worry about everything else, which I love. I got
Eagles fans telling me that they should trade Hurts to the Chargers for Herbert because Hurts fits the Chargers offense better. I'm like, yeah, they're never doing that in a million years.
Oh, you got to love it, don't you?
It's the worst.
Oh, yeah, I'd buy the half point down, take the Chargers today. I like them. I love the way Jim Harbaugh coaches teams. I love the Chargers. I love the Charger. I love the Charger football.
Love you, DJ.
Yeah, give me the Chargers. Buy that half point and take the Chargers today.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game they should win. Hey, Drew, Charger make the playoffs?
As of right now?
No. Do you think they do?
No.
Close?
No. Close. It's all that Steeler and Arizona games are going to come back and bite them in the ass.
But you're okay with it?
Yeah. It's a rebuilding year.
100%.
I keep telling everybody that on Twitter, dude. It's stupid that people are pissed off about. Bro, this was a rebuilding year.
I agree. Yeah.
If we win more, I think what was our record last year? 4 wins, 5 wins. If we go 8-9 or 9-8 under your first year with Harbaugh, that's a win to me because now you get to go and rebuild the team how he wants it to be with $100 million under the cap. Come on, Brian. That's a dream. We could go get a Chris Godwin for cheap because he's going to be hurt. We could talk about it for hours. I
agree. All right. 6 games and 15 minutes. We got this.
We got this.
Bills and Seahawks, 5-2 at 4-3. Buffalo laying 3 on the road, 45.5 the number. Josh Allen, the only qualified quarterback with no picks this year, 286 straight passes. Ken Walker, 7 touchdowns, the most by a Seahawk in their first 5 games since Sean Alexander in 2005. Ken Walker's playing great football for the Seahawks. However, you may like Geno Smith, whatever. This is a quarterback mismatch of epic proportions. I love Josh Allen in this game. I think the 3 is low. This could easily get out of hand if the Buffalo Bills do what Buffalo Bills are supposed to do. Seattle's going to have to run the ball just to keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. I love Ken Walker, too. I'll go real quick, Ant. I love Ken Walker, too. I no DK today. That's going to hurt. So with that being said, Buffalo should have a strategy, putting 8 in the box. You got to worry about Tyler Lockett, JSN. And Noah Fant, who a lot of people are plugging to have a big day today. I don't know why. Flip side of that, man, Keaton Coleman, Amari Cooper, James Cook, Josh Allen's playing out of his mind right now through 8 weeks. Who would have thought that he would have, I think, 15 total touchdowns and 0 picks? Is crazy. So I think Josh Allen's going to continue that trend today. Seattle has a pretty sneaky good defense, but at the end of the day, man, it's just too much power for Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo today.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I kind of lean Buffalo. I would lean Buffalo here on the money line. I like Cook today to score. I like both running backs today to score. Give me those guys. But, yeah, give me Buffalo on the money line. I think it's just too much Josh Allen.
How the hell are the Broncos an 11-point favorite in this game? The Broncos don't score 11 points.
Well, Bryce Young's playing.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, Bryce Young's playing, Brian.
11?
Yes.
The Broncos defense has been smothering people, so I can see where they get the 11 here. I'm not even coming close to watching this game, looking at this game. Broncos obviously going to win.
Listen, Bo Nix is going to be 5-3. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, think about that for a minute. Now,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
If Young loses, which the number says he probably should, he would be the 4th number 1 pick ever to have a 10-plus game road losing streak at any point in his career.
Jeez, poor guy.
And Denver's 4-0, and they don't give the ball away. So if they protect the ball, they win the game.
This is a big win for Denver, man. Really, honestly, it's going to put them at 5-3. 2 games above 5. Put them at 2nd place in the AFC West. Yeah, I mean, give Sean Payton. I know a lot of people are not going to give him credit because the offense has been very anemic, but I mean, Javonte Williams is coming out of his own finally after that torn ACL 2 years ago. He's looking really good, like his old self 2 years ago before he got hurt. Here's a guy for deep fantasy. If you need a guy, Troy Franklin. He's getting so many targets these last 2 weeks. Look at him a lot. Bo Nix loves him. Obviously, they had that already from Oregon. Broncos, I'm all about the Broncos today. Broncos usually getting that win. I would take the over 11, Brian, easily.
Wow. Yeah, I get it. It's just like
just throw the Broncos in the money line at the end of your parlay. Help you out, boost it up a little bit.
I think it's like minus 800 though. You're not even getting any value for it.
The highest one of the day is Detroit. They're minus 675.
Jeez.
Against Tennessee?
Yeah.
That's about right. That's about right. Chiefs and Raiders. Now the Chiefs lost this game last year. They're 6-0. Raiders 2-5. KC laying 9.5. 41.5 the number. KC is the 8th team since 2001 to be 6-0 with 10+ giveaways with a top 5 scoring and rush defense. Brock Bowers is the bright spot in the City of Lights. Leads all tight ends with 47 receptions. That's also 2nd in the league among anybody. Patrick Mahomes remembers when they were making fun of him with the whole Kermit the Frog thing.
Yes, so post that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, all you need to do is just post one video, and then that's going to be my pick. The Chiefs today, Patty Mahomes is going to light it up.
Jaden Daniels is going to play.
All right.
Barring the last-minute setback.
I got the Chiefs playing today, too. Chiefs are easily going to win this game today. I want to see how they're going to incorporate DeAndre Hopkins. It's the only thing really
I think they hit up.
interested in watching.
I think they hit up B Hop a couple times today. I could see B Hop hitting
Yeah.
3-4 receptions.
Established chemistry.
Yeah. So it'd be like a practice.
Not a game I'll be watching, Brian. That's for sure.
Well, I know who's going to watch this one.
Yes.
I'll wait for this game.
Floor's yours.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear I'm glad to hear Daniels is playing today. It's what I wanted. I really don't care if he plays or not. I think the Bears win this game outright today. I think this guy's going to see a real defense today, and I think that's going to be the difference. And I don't see this Commanders defense stopping Caleb Williams in this offense. So I love the Bears today. Give me the Bears a -3 if you want to buy the half point, whatever you want to do. I think the Bears take this game today. I love them.
Jaden Daniels has to throw to the left side of the field occasionally.
Yeah, this is a mismatch. I think their defenses they're in for it today. They have to have if they can't run the ball, they're in for it. This is a real secondary and this is a real defense. Tony talked about no defenses in this league. The Bears defense is real. I mean, they haven't allowed 20 points in 11 games. So I think this is a challenge for Daniels, and I think it's just a better matchup for Caleb Williams, who's been rolling. So, yeah, give me the Bears all day. Give me DJ Moore. I love Caleb Williams to throw over 225. I just said DJ Moore touchdown and Swift. I mean, I love this game today, and that's not just because I'm a fan. Sure. I think this is a mismatch. I really do.
He being 4-2 is the best record ever by a number one quarterback through his first 6 games, believe it or not.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah, it's tough. I mean, again, I think we all want Daniels to play because it makes the game better. But again, the Bears defense is not the Panthers. It's not who the Commanders have really played so far. So you're going to see a lot about Jaden Daniels today.
Yeah.
In a matchup with the top 2 picks in the draft.
Yep.
How about that? These 2 teams are 4-2 and 5-2. They had the top 2 picks in the draft. It's amazing how maybe if you get a high pick and it works out, things change. Oh, okay. Tanking works, doesn't it? All right. Fair enough. Sunday night, Cowboys and Niners in a game that Dallas generally loses. They've lost 3 Niners, including the playoffs. Brock Purdy's they are 0-5 when Purdy throws multiple picks in a game. We talked a lot about Purdy earlier in the show when we were talking about the Niners as a team. 5's the number. 5's high. Right?
It's high, yeah.
5's high. Look, the Cowboys have been ass. Okay, like I'm the first person to tell you that. But San Francisco's also been general ass. So 5's high. Could the Niners win? Sure. Do you think they win by 5? No. I think this is a field goal game one way or another, so I would take the points in any event. If you're the Cowboys, though, you can go a long way in changing the narrative if you win this game because this is a game you generally lose. And they've been better on the road for whatever fucking reason.
I agree. I think I saw the line. I think it's too high. I like the Cowboys here +5. I think they could even outplay the Niners today the way Purdy's been playing. I really have no confidence in Brock Purdy right now. So if Dallas can somehow slow down the run and put the ball in Purdy's hands, I think they have a really good shot at just outright winning this game. I mean, I wouldn't even mind sprinkling a Dallas money line on here. I think this is almost a 50-50 game. So, but I'll take the 5.5. Yeah, give me the Cowboys +5. Get the ball to CD and make them work.
Who needs it more? I think they both do. That's the thing, right? Like
they both. I mean, if the Niners go to 3-5 with a Rams team surging, I mean that's gonna be tough for them. They're both in similar divisions where there's like teams that they're all hovering around. Oh man, I'm gonna say the Cowboys. I'm gonna say this is a big game for the Cowboys.
Hold on. So if the Seattle loses, the Cardinals lose, and the Niners lose, Seattle's 4-4, the Cards are 3-5, the Rams are 3-4, the Niners are 3-5. They're not out of it at all.
True.
Like it's just it's mediocrity everywhere.
Yeah.
But you're not out of it.
But we just discussed who is out of it in this league. Really, I mean, there's only a handful of teams.
The Saints,
maybe
the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints, Titans, Panthers, Giants. I mean, there's still a lot of teams in there, but they obviously don't have talent like the Cowboys do and the Niners do.
But that's but the expectations are there. Like again,
Yes.
Jerry's going to lose his mind, which is fine with me, by the way. Last but not least, the Steelers are a 6-point favorite against the 2-5 Giants, over in a 36.5. So not looking for a lot of points here. Jones is 0-5 career against a top 5 scoring defense after week 5. He is 1-14 in prime time. Break up the Steelers offense, 32 plus points in consecutive games for the first time since 2020. This doesn't feel like a game the Giants are going to be overly competitive in, because even if you think the Giants defense can stop the Steelers offense, and maybe you're right, I don't have a clue how Daniel Jones is going to put up points against the Steeler defense. At all.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, the Steelers offense looked different. I mean, it looked very different, and it got their receivers involved. They got Pickens, they got Freiermuth, they got their skilled players more involved instead of Justin Fields dropping back and roaming around, running around. So Steelers did look good. So I'm going to roll with the Steelers. Like you said, I can't see the Giants really moving the ball against this defense, especially in Pittsburgh on a Monday night. Place is going to be jamming. So, yeah, give me the Steelers and give me George Pickens. I think this rapport with Russell Wilson is really going to get him going. So I like George Pickens in this game.
I mean, you could say it could be a defensive struggle because both defenses are probably, they're fine. Sure. It's just, I think the Steelers will be able to put up some points. I don't have any, like, if you told me the Giants get shut out, I would not be surprised.
If Justin Fields, this line isn't 6 if Justin Fields is playing either. It's probably about 3. I really think it's about 3 because this offense is a lot different.
Got through all the games with 3 minutes to spare. See, I've done this. I've done this once or twice, right? Thank you all for watching week 8. We'll catch you next week. Make it a profitable day. Hope your fantasy teams win unless they're playing me. Yeah. And good luck to you and your Bears.
Let's go, bear down.
That should be a really interesting game. I will keep an eye on that for sure.
I'm glad
somebody please, if someone could please like just kidnap Aaron Boone for just a week. Let somebody else, because the decisions have cost them 2 games in my opinion.
That was a tough one last night.
Both of them have not been good for my
the same player too. Coming back to get you in the ass.
But they're losing on these decisions. To me, like he can't manage a bullpen.
Your main guy's not hitting the ball either.
That's fair too.
He's not even coming close right now.
Hashtag resign Soto. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
See ya.